guys, this is Living Dead Gal and welcome back to another Sims 4 CAS video. Welcome to the channel if you are new. So today's CAS video is a little bit different from previous ones I've done because today what we are doing is we are creating some love interests for my Let's Play, which is called Make It or Break It. It's essentially just a small like mini-series Let's Play that is based around the new scenarios that were released a couple weeks ago into the Sims game. So it's the whole finding love after a breakup scenario. So if you've seen the series, there's only 3 episodes out right now, but if you have seen it, I have not had a lot of success in accomplishing any of the possible outcomes that are available to us in the scenario. I don't know if it's like a combination of my mods or the traits that I gave to my characters, but the main couple who is broken up hate each other and actually got into a physical altercation in the first episode. Since then, I have tried to have the female London, I have had her trying to go on dates with people, but we've had some bad first impressions, and we've had one guy that she got along with really well tried to steal her money and she got into yet another fight. And the man that she was previously in a relationship with, Asa, he went out on a date as well, and the date was going really good, but then his date ended up being possessed. She is a Strangerville resident, so yeah, it's been a fun time. So as I am preparing to record the next episode, I decided that I wanted to make some snacks for my Sims. Some really beautiful, interesting Sims as potential love interests for them. And I figured I would go ahead and record it. Just because doing these CAS videos is really fun for me in learning like different approaches to making Sims. And one of my goals is to make Sims that look really different. And I mean, obviously, like, I have a style and it's gonna stick with that, like the more like realistic style. I use a lot of alpha CC, but I'm Maxis mix, so I don't just use like strictly alpha, but there's a style that's there. But at the same time, I do want to have like a lot of diversity with my Sims. I want to have Sims that have different backgrounds, that have different styles, that have different body shapes. That's important to me, just because I think it's important in the world, and so I like to do that in my own gameplay. So that said, the Sim that we are creating here is Isabella. So she is going to be a love interest for Asa. I will not tell you any of these Sims traits, but what I will say is that she is looking to be an actress, so she is also kind of trying to make it in the like kind of get famous type of realm of things. So I think that will fit well with Asa because he's in the entertainer career, but he's trying to be a famous musician. So I think that they have similar goals, whereas Asa and London were a little bit more, you know, London is a programmer. She's not really that interested in fame, even though she's the one who's the self-absorbed Sim, which is kind of funny. But I think it'll be like a nice change for Asa, so I think that they'll fit really well. She does have a negative trait. I will not reveal what it is. I always try to give my Sims a negative trait or what's considered a negative trait. It doesn't mean that I think a lot of the traits in the game can be considered good or bad, depending on how you want to utilize them for your Sim. So, for instance, like the self-assured trait. That one can be considered good because it can be considered just a confident Sim, which is good and healthy and positive. Or you could use it if you want something like arrogant and you don't have a custom trait for arrogant in your game. So I think you can kind of make the traits go both ways. She doesn't have that, but she does have a negative trait. I just won't reveal what it is. We will find out in the Let's Play. If you have not watched my Let's Play, I will leave a link in the description below in case you're watching this like, what is she talking about? That'll kind of give you some context if you're interested in watching Let's Plays. If not, you can just kind of enjoy the CAS creation of The Sims, and I will be linking their CC as well. So yeah, for Isabella, I actually made her a lot faster than I usually make my Sims. Something about her was just clicking with me, but my one issue is that I'm struggling because I really, really like her, and I know she's not going to be like a main character in the series. Like, she'll be a love interest for Asa, but Asa is not really the focus. We've been focusing more on London, and I just really like her and I want to utilize her again, so maybe she'll end up becoming like one of my models that I use when I kind of showcase CC collections, or maybe we'll end up doing like a few challenges with her in the future. I also like kind of want a happy ending for her, so I have a lot of issues with Asa in my series. He is a Sim I created. I thought he was going to be a great guy, and he ended up getting into a physical altercation with his ex-girlfriend, which I do not condone. I'm not promoting toxic relationships at all. So my goal, if things work out with Asa and this new Sim that I've created, Isabella, would be to kind of see some growth and change in Asa, and I would hope that their relationship would be a healthier one and not a toxic one. That said, I do want her to kind of add some drama to the series, just because I have a feeling that Asa is going to move on a little bit faster than London, because Asa seems to have a bit more luck in the love department. So the next Sim that we are moving on to, this is Derek that we're creating right now, and I love him. You'll see how he turns out. I was really struggling to get his facial features the way I wanted. The base sim that what I do is I just roll the dice and get like a base sim to work off of, and then I kind of tweak them from there with presets and just shaping the bone structure. And it took me a really long time to get his features how I wanted them to be. My goal with him, like, he is the one that I have a feeling, just in my gut, that London will end up really liking him, and I think that they'll get along really well. I'm personally rooting for another Sim that she previously went on a date with, Charlie. The two of them went on the date and had their first kiss, but Charlie didn't get the best impression of London, and didn't really call her or anything after the date, so I'm not sure if that will end up working out or not, but I just love Charlie. Charlie's like such a pretty Sim that I was able to kind of just, I didn't really have to create a lot of her. Her bone structure and everything was kind of randomly generated in CAS, and then I just kind of added some skin details and gave her like her style and her eye color and everything. But she was just I got really lucky with the random roll of the dice. And so I really liked her and I wanted to use her in the series, and I thought that her and London looked really cute together. So I am rooting for them, but I don't know, because we've had a little bit of drama with that, and London was kind of thinking about another guy right after she got home from her date with Charlie, so we'll see how that one goes. I have a feeling that London's really gonna like Derek, and I really love Derek too. I just my heart is with Charlie, but I'm not sure that I'm not sure that the ship that I want is going to sail. But that said, Derek he has a negative trait as well, but his negative trait is probably not as bad as what I normally give. The last Sim that London pursued, his negative trait was kleptomaniac, and I think that just added a little more drama than I was expecting. So with Derek, I didn't really give him anything too intense, but it'll be something. All I'll say is that it'll be interesting if they were to end up living together. But overall, I think he's like he's meant to be like a really good Sim, like a really good guy, and he is, I believe I gave him the big happy family trait. So for me, what he represents for an option for London is like moving forward with her life, because one of the things we noticed in the last episode is that she actually would be happy to be pregnant. So she is someone who is looking to move on to the next phase. She's still a young adult, but she's definitely looking to kind of settle down and start a family. And I think that Derek presents that option for her of kind of like settling down and like having that sort of future happiness and like goals. She's a very ambitious sim, and I think that Derek's personality and his aspiration will fit really nicely with hers. So I think that'll work. And also, he's really nice to look at. I was really proud of him, and I spent more time styling him, I think, than any of the Sims, which is funny because normally for male Sims, it takes me a lot longer to, or a lot less time to style them, but I wanted to push myself because I think for me, as a female, it's like, when I style female Sims, it takes me a while because I do all their accessories, I do all their nails, I, you know, am like thinking about color coordination and like, there's just a lot more options too when you are looking for CC. There's just a lot more options. Even if you don't use CC, just in the base game, and even if you have all the packs, the majority of the items are for young adult and adult females. Or female framed Sims. So for me, when I make male Sims, I just usually am a little bit quicker about it, but I'm trying to like break out of giving them all the exact same style. I want them all to like feel different because I do think that your style and your clothes can be like a major representation of who you are. Not in all cases, like some people, their style really doesn't reflect who they are, it's just what they're comfortable wearing, and that's fine too. But with Sims, you know, when you're playing and create a Sim and you're creating this character, that's kind of the first thing that your mind is going to is like, okay, what's their personality and how is what they're wearing going to reflect them for me? So I'm really trying to branch out with my male Sims and not use the same CC every time. It's tough because there's only, like, I can probably think of like at least 50 creators that are my go-tos for female frame Sims content. But for male frame Sims content, that list is like at least half of that. And that's not to say that those creators aren't great, it's just that there's not as many creators that are making quality content for male Sims, I mean, or even in general content for male Sims. So I do kind of get stuck into like a little bit of a trap every time I'm making a male Sim of using like kind of the same looks and the same styles, and I'm really trying to branch out as much as I can. Again, for me, just like male fashion isn't something that I'm super knowledgeable about. I'm a female, I wear like girlier clothes most of the time, so it is kind of a learning curve for me. But that said, I did have a really good time styling him, and I wanted to kind of like not pigeonhole him into one thing. So I gave him a couple of looks that I felt were a little bit different for different aspects of his personality. Like his party look is definitely like a lot more kind of fun and vibey versus like his, you know, regular everyday or his winter weather. And I love the suit that I put on him. I felt that looked great. So we are about to wrap up with Derek, and the last Sim that I made is another option for London, and this is Colt. So I made 2 options for London, which will give her 3 total potentials in the series, because I'm counting out Emmett in that series. I'm not trying to repair that relationship while also trying to have her be better friends with her ex. So Emmett is being ruled out, but Charlie is still in the running. And I wanted to give her 2 other options just because she is like our main character and I wanted her to have choices, and my goal is for her to find a soulmate. Asa does have that option with Leslie. I don't think she's completely down and out for the count being possessed. That's something we can work with, but you know, because it only happens at like 2 a.m. we can deal with that. But I think I have a good feeling about Isabella, and I think that'll work out. And if not, we can do some more blind dates with other townies and stuff. But for London, I was thinking, okay, I'll just stick with 2, but after I made Derek, I was like, let me just make one more option because I was having such a good time in CAS. I pretty much spent my whole Saturday just in Create a Sim, and I was enjoying what I was doing, and I was like, let me make one more option just to give us some choices for London. And also I think it makes it more interesting for me as a player and for you guys who are viewing and watching. So yeah, this is kind of where Derek was born, and I wanted him to be pretty different, or I'm sorry, not Derek, this is where Colt was born, and I wanted him to be pretty different from Derek. So I wanted to give him like, I don't know if like punk rocky is the word, or like more of like a hipster vibe, but he's kind of like the more immature of the two. Derek is more like family oriented and kind of like has goals and plans, and that doesn't necessarily mean that if you don't have those things that you're immature, but Colt is a little bit more focused in like right now, and he's kind of focused in, he's a writer, so he's focused on like writing novels, and he's just a little bit more, he's just not as goal oriented, if that makes sense. So maybe immature is not the right word, but I think that he, you know, it could help him bring out like a different side of London because she's very ambitious, or they could end up butting heads. It just kind of depends, because I think he's a little bit more like Asa versus Derek. So he's kind of like, I could see Colt being someone who could be just a rebound, but he could end up being her soulmate. We'll have to find out. And again, I create these backstories and these personalities for my Sims, but at the same time, particularly with this series, I am letting the kind of like the Sims themselves and their autonomy kind of drive what happens. So I can say all these things, and who knows, you know, how they're going to turn out in game. I've given them personality traits. I've, you know, tried with certain settings that I've given to them, but you just never know how they're going to act at the end of the day. So we are getting close to the end of this video. I am going to go ahead and wrap this up here, as we're just kind of finishing up the final touches and the final outfits for Colt. But yeah, so I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you like to watch Sims 4 videos, CAS videos, Let's Plays, please give me a like, leave me a comment down below to let me know, or you can subscribe to my channel for more content. I really appreciate you watching this video and taking the time out of your day. The support that I've gotten from you guys has been amazing, and I'm really having fun with this channel. I'm just getting started, but it's been so enjoyable and such a nice, relaxing hobby for me. So I really do appreciate the comments and the support that I've been getting from a lot of you. It means everything to me. So I hope you all are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!